My birthday is coming up pretty soon this year, but at this time last year, I was terrified of it being my birthday. When I was 5 years old, I remember, I was so excited to be independent and like literally just living in my own house, doing whatever the hell I wanted to do all day. The process and the thought of things like work and having to actually earn an income and having to like do things to sustain yourself was completely like out of my brain, wasn't ingrained into me whatsoever. I was excited to do things like cook my own food and buy groceries and all that sort of stuff and just be a kid but independent in a way. I wanted to just do childish things but just have the independence that an adult does. But the older I got, the more scared, terrified, definitely a bit of an exaggeration, but the more scared I got of getting older and having to actually face independence and responsibilities that come with being independent. Because when I was imagining that life, I didn't imagine having to earn a good income. I didn't imagine having to raise children or whatever. That was just not part of my thought and my brain. It wasn't ingrained into me whatsoever. But with the internet, obviously now, I just have a better understanding of the world than when I was 5 years old. That's pretty logical to understand. Obviously that stuff is in my mind, and especially when I was sort of 16, 15, and I was having those birthdays, those thoughts became ever more prominent, and it scared me because it was like I just felt like I wasn't making any progress in life. I wasn't actually working towards any long-term goals that just, not necessarily like goals like I'll make like $1 billion or whatever, or like have the best physique possible, just the long-term goals of living in your own house and raising children. I was like, maybe one shouldn't like think about that in such a like big light and think about that as such a prominent thing at such a young age. That's probably something that I did to myself with overthinking and anxiety that just didn't help me whatsoever. But I was just like, I'm not making any progress towards these long-term goals, and I'm like getting older, 16, 17, like being a proper adult and driving and doing all that sort of stuff. I'll be that age soon, and that comes with responsibilities, and I just don't feel like I've made enough progress in my life to actually be able to take those responsibilities like onto myself and have that accountability for things that when they go wrong I can recover and actually just be stable. I didn't feel like I was going to be able to do that, and it terrified me every single time I got older and I had a birthday, that it's just like life is just really trying to catch up to you, and sometimes there'd be dark thoughts of just like I'm being chased, and the childhood is just being chased and beaten out of me. And while I don't recommend even taking on responsibilities and having that sort of independent life, that you never let the sort of adventure and the childish side of you get beaten out of you, and you always still keep like that nostalgia and just that side of you in some part of your spiritual existence. But I did in a sense feel like I was being chased by some malevolent force that was going to mean that I had to just get rid of every single childish part of my life that was like realistic. I've been a child and it was an enjoyable period of life for me, despite it being the only period, I suppose. But from what I had seen from every other human being in existence, I was grateful that I had had such a pretty happy childhood, I suppose. And as any reasonable person would, I didn't want to leave that. I wanted to literally just be a child forever because it was fun. I loved being childish, and I still do. I still like just doing childish things, building dens, climbing trees. That's pretty childish. That seems like quite a cringe, silly thing to do, but it's fun. And I don't think anyone can actually say that that's just like, I don't think anyone with a true heart can say that building a den and climbing a tree and just like having fun and not really caring what other people think is like a objectively stupid, bad thing. I don't think anyone can actually say that, otherwise they genuinely have a very, very cold heart and don't really have much happiness. Not happiness, but don't really just have a warm heart. I don't know, in the last year or so, that just would seem like such an alien concept to me with the sort of journey that I've been on and the things that I've discovered, etc., etc. But now that I'm coming up to my next birthday, at the time of recording this video, I am excited because, once again, I am excited. I feel like my 5-year-old self again, where I am excited to like be independent, like do the things that I want to do. But now I have the understanding of those responsibilities of like owning a house, raising a family, doing all that sort of stuff, and having to like earn an income and being financially stable. I understand those now, and I understood those when I was 15 and 16. The problem is that I didn't understand how I was going to be able to actually take on those responsibilities. But now, in the year that I've sort of been on, the journey that I've been on, I feel like not that I could if I was immediately put into that situation, but with the path, the graph that I am going on, the function, the line that I'm going on, I feel like at that point in time when I am able to have that independence, I know that it won't be hard and I will easily be able to sort of overcome the challenges that come with that sort of stuff. Obviously, I don't exactly know what there is to expect. If anyone can give me any help in the comments, that would be greatly appreciated. But I feel like even if the most bizarre challenge decides to like pop its head out and rear its head, I feel like I'll still be ready for it in a way, which is completely unlike what I was a year ago when I was 15 going on 16, and I just didn't want to get older because I would see all these people on the internet, all these content creators that were like going to the gym and working out like consistently, vigorously. They were doing all this good stuff. They had like social media pages. They were like getting sponsored, doing all that sort of stuff. And I was just so like jealous and so screwed up in the head because I would see all these people and I would be jealous of them. Understandably so in a way. I don't blame myself being like that. But since I've deleted those kind of social media apps that caused me that sort of grief and pain, I feel like I've been in a much better headspace 100%, and I've been able to focus on like moving my own path in life instead of focusing on like how well other people are doing in a sense. And obviously that I'm going to meet people that are going to be like 20 times better than me at my own current age and sort of similar places in where they came from, for instance. But that stuff just doesn't affect me anymore because I know that I'll be ready for being and having that independence and living the life that I want to live. I don't want to live like a massively sort of rich, materialistic, like the kind of life you'd imagine, the Dubai, the posh like villas in not posh, but the fancy villas in Thailand and Indonesia and all the sort of exotic places, the Ibizas, the like Italy, all that sort of stuff. I've never really imagined that sort of life, but I knew that the responsibilities that would come from independence, being in like a rural area, a village, somewhere that doesn't necessarily have like a massive grocery market just at your doorstep. I'd have to grow my own food potentially. I might even have to like hunt on the rare occasion. I might own a farm. I might have to maintain that as well, and I'd obviously have all the other stuff like my work and stuff. But I feel like I'll be prepared for that because of the things that I'm doing now. The whole process of delayed gratification literally means that I'm not scared for the future. That actually, just saying that feels like I've summed up self-improvement very well. The whole entire process of delayed gratification means that now, as it comes up to my 17th birthday, I'm not scared for the future. I feel like that is a great position to be in life. I'm not scared for what's going to happen when I'm 18 and 19 because I know that by that point in time, hopefully, like, fingers crossed, touch wood, things like this YouTube channel will be monetized. I'll have sponsors, and like it means that I don't have to work part-time jobs, which I don't find the greatest enjoyment out of potentially as I do when I'm recording and editing not just these philosophical sort of hypothetical videos, but the things that I talk about in terms of science as well. And science is obviously where I want my long-term future and career to go, not just in this sort of YouTube channel where it was the only conceivable realistic place where I thought I would be able to sort of start some kind of platform to build my existence up on the media and social internet world. But where I want my long-term career to go is in the field of science, whether it's a career, a salary, or whether it is some kind of entrepreneurial investment and venture and all that sort of stuff. But not being scared for the future is like such a great thing, because if you're not scared for the future, it means you are on the right path. That's a very good way. When I was 15, I was so scared for the future because it was like, I remember, I've probably told you these stories billions of times, where I was working out when I was 15 in the summer, and then in the autumn, I just wasn't able to because of school and stuff like that, and other social pressures and all that sort of stuff. I beat myself up about it, and I was scared of the future because I didn't know if I was going to actually be able to continue the sort of high that I experienced in the summer, where I was able to actually do and live the life that I really like living. I really had fun that summer, just as I had the past summer that's been as well. I really had fun then as well. And I've also had fun this autumn. I overcame challenges better than I could when I was 15. But when I was 15, I was scared for the future. I was dead straight up scared for what the future was going to look like, because it just seemed everything was just too much. And that's not to say that I haven't had that. It's not to say that I haven't had those moments this autumn as well. But I feel like I've overcome them much better, because I know that with the development that I'd been on since the sort of like my 16th birthday, where I realized I'm going to actually have to sort of get going and really start to actually improve myself, go on self-improvement quite literally, start doing good habits to build myself up as a human being, because otherwise I can't have these feelings again of just any kind of self-hatred or any kind of negative feeling, but just worry and anxiousness. I've always been that kind of worry and anxious person, and I really don't feel like I am like that anymore, because I'm just not scared for the future anymore, because I feel like I'm so young and I'm in, not to be like holier than thou, but I feel like I am in a pretty good position. I've got my head screwed on right, as a lot of people have said that I meet, and I really feel like just not being anxious and scared for the future by doing self-improvement, literally that's it, and just not like benefiting your future self means that you won't be scared for the future. That seems like a logical algorithm and pathway or whatever. But with that, I recommend subscribing, because I like this community of young tribal people who are willing to improve themselves so much more than they already have. And good luck.